Hello everybody, welcome. Welcome. So basically, in this wonderful, tarot card reading, this could be for Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. These are the water signs I'm talking about, and it's gonna be for March 20th to March 26th of 2026. So this is gonna be how it goes in that way. So happy everybody to spring. We're going to be into this spring season as well. Not be you're not going to be having your own spring shoes. You're not going to spring on like that. Anyway, I'm just being funny. Anyway, the point being is that this is how it goes in that way, and this is going to be how an opportunity is. So, if you are a part of the Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, this reading is for you. If you are the other elements like Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or generally Libra, Aquarius, or Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, this is how it goes that way. So this is how it's going to be. But the way this is, you have to understand what you're going through in that way, and you have to do what you can in that way. All right, that's just how it goes. So this oracle card, it says discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. That's how it goes. When you have discipline, you have to feel the vibrations. You have to understand that in that way. A wonderful concept, because when you have discipline, you have to see it in different perspectives. That's all you can do. But you have to take a risk. You take your own potential feelings to understand that, right? So when you have your own discipline, you understand what's going to be. When you think, okay, well, it's going to be how it goes, all right, but that's how it goes. So you see it as a wonderful feeling. You know how it goes that way, and you have to do that, right? That's just how it goes. So you have to have your own biological estimation that when you use the word discipline, you know how it goes, right? You have to put things into perspective, and when you do it, that's how it goes in that way. You have to remain on how it goes and how it works in that way. So when you use the word discipline, you know what it is, right? So if you're disciplined about anything that's going on with your life or anything else, that's how it goes in that way. You have to do what you can in that way, and that's how it goes. All right, that's how it's gonna be. All right, so that's how it goes. So we're going to figure out what's going on, and this is gonna be how it goes. So I'm going to figure out who's on the left side, who's on the right side. I'm going to figure out who's going to be in the middle of the situation, of how it's going to be. So this is how it goes. All right, here we go. So in that way, we have on the basically on the left side with the King Pentacles reversed. There is no money involved. I have no idea why, but that's how it is. Okay, this is how it's going to be. All right, so that's how it goes. On the right side, you have no knowledge here. I have no idea why you have no knowledge here, but you know what? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, there are things you must learn first in order to do that. You have to put things into that perspective, whether you like it or not. But you have to understand that you're not trying to play games here. You're not trying to provide anything. But that's how it goes in that way. So you have to do what you can. So let me clarify this King Pentacles here. Queen One Silver, there's charisma. Tower Silver, there's healing. 5-1 Zero, there's no chaos. Lord Zero, there's no decisions. Emperor Zero, there's no nourishment. 10 Pentacles Silver, there's wealth here. Yeah, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, if you have wealth, you're basically appreciated by your money in that way. So you might be dealing with in a Pisces, you might be dealing with in a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus in that way, because you think, okay, well, it's gonna be how it goes. I know what to do because that's how it seems to be. So money is the key here, but you have to understand that. The word disciplined, you pay attention to that card. That's how it goes in that way, because if you pay attention, that's what it seems to be, okay? Now let me clarify this King of Swords here. Ace 1 Sword, there's new beginnings. Page of Swords, there's no education. Page of Pentacles, there's no prospects. Queen of Cups, there's empathy. Yeah, there's two sides of the story here. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. That's how it goes. But the way this is, you might be doing it in our Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in that way, right? So whether you decide, define it in that perspective, you think, well, this is how it goes. I need to understand that. Yes, but you have to remain of it. You have to maintain of it. That's how it goes. What's this 10 Pentacles here? So you're not feeling deceit. Empress over their structure. The Star of yours is on inspiration. Eight Pentacles over there's prosperity about money. That's how it goes. When you have prosperity about money, that's what you want. That's what you get. That's what you provide. That's how it goes. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you need to do it what you can, because that's how it goes. You have to believe what you can in that way, whether you understand that, right? So whether you think that, okay, everything seems to be fine, yes, but how would that be, right? Nothing is impossible to make possible, right? You have to understand that, because when you see it, you have to put it in that perspective way of that's how it goes. So you might be dealing with a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus in that way. What's this Queen of Cups about? Here for Earth, there's no guidance. 4 Cups for Earth, there's no distraction. 9 Cups is reversed, there's no romance. The Page of Cups is upright, there's loyalty. Yeah, because you want to be loyal, right? So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you need to be loyal, and that's what you want, because that's how it seems to be. You need to have your own priorities, because you have to do that. So whether if you're dealing with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you have to maintain about it, right? You have to be who you are and say, okay, well, this is how it goes. I need to understand that. That's what it seems to be, okay? Now let me clarify this Ace of Pentacles here. Taurus, there's no transformation. King of Sorcerer, there's knowledge here. Hermit Uranus, you already have a soulmate. 9 Wands is up where you're feeling fear. That's how it goes. So when you have fear, you know that, well, I don't want to do this. But when you have to keep presiding with it, you have to understand that. Right? You have to believe what you're going through in that way. If you want knowledge, you have respect. You have things to be, how you're going to comply with it. That's how it goes. And when you do it, that's how it seems to be. What's this Page of Cups? King of Wands, there's no leadership. King of Cups, there's no support. 10 Cups, there's completion. Yeah, because everything's completed, right? So when everything's completed, it's like, okay, everything's completion, yes, but how you're going to have it, how you're going to have that lifespan of how you're going to be feeling, because when you feel like it, you think, okay, well, this is how it goes. I need to understand that. I need to have my own take with this. That's how it goes. So let me figure out who's in the middle of this situation. Magician Uranus is no skill. 2 Pentacles Uranus, so there's actually uncontrol. 7 Pentacles are there's basically you're finding your career. 5 Wands Uranus is no chaos. 9 Pentacles Uranus is no trust. 9 of Cups Uranus is no romance. 5 Swords Uranus is there's no revenge. Hangman is already there's restrictions. Yeah, because you're being restricted. Okay, and when you're being restricted, you think, well, I don't have this method here. But the way this is, if I feel like I'm having restrictions, you're being restricted. Because you can't do this, you can't do that. No, you can't. But the way this is, if you have responsibilities, whether if you have your own rights, as a human being, you have to pay attention to what you're doing in that way. Because everyone has rights, everyone. That could include Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, generally Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. That's how it goes. Because in 12 elements, right, if you are earth sign, water sign, air sign, fire sign, where it is, you're basically having your own, precisely, of having your own rights, right? You're having your own rights as a human being, and you know about what's going on. Right, so whether you have your own parental theories, whether if you're feeling fear, whether you're having completion, whether you have loyalty, whether you have wealth, that's how it goes in that way. But you have to continue. Continue is a very perspective way. That's how it goes. But this is not short and sweet. This is not how you're going to have your cup of coffee or your cup of tea. It doesn't matter. But the way this is, you have to be who you are in that, and that's how it goes, right? So let me clarify this 9 Wands here. Emperor reverse, so there's no structure. You had structure, now you have no structure. Okay, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, that's how it goes. What's this 10 Cups here? Star Uranus, there's no inspiration, right? So the way how this is, the way how things are, that's how it goes. So let me clarify this Emperor. Hangman is alright, there's restrictions. Strength is alright, you want bravery. Fool is upright, there's change. That's how it goes. So you want change, you want strength, you want to have restrictions because you're being restricted. Like I say, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's how it goes. But when you have that maintain of having restrictions, you're being restricted. That's how it goes. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. That's how it goes. What's the star card? Devil is upright. There's obsessions, addictions. Hermit, Uranus, you already have a soulmate. Moon is upright. There's misrotations. And the Empress is upright. There's nourishment. That's how it goes, right? So whether if you're acting to have, addictions, or you're basically acting like you're being rude, or dismay, whatever it is, and you're acting like that, that's how it goes. So you might be doing another Capricorn here, because if you act like it, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and you want to be acting nice, you have to be right. You have to act like that. But if you want to be mean, or being rude, or being disrespectful, or whatever it is, and you can't get what you want, you're being restricted. Because being restricted means that you can't get what you want. You can't. Because you're being restricted, right? It's the way of how it goes in that way. That's how it goes, right? It's unnecessary behavior in that way. What's this Hangman about? Fool is upright. There's change. Just so you're telling the truth, or just so you want skill. That's how it goes. So you have to see it that way. If you want change, fine. If you want tell the truth, that's how it goes. If you want use your skills, that's how it goes in that way. Because you need to do that. It's the way of how it goes in that way. Because that's how it needs to be. It's like, okay, I need to do it. That's how it goes in that way. You have to understand that, because there's always a good way than a wrong way, right? That's how it goes. And you feel like it. You have to understand that, right? What's this Empress about? Emperor Uranus is no structure. Devil Uranus is no obsessions, addictions. Star is upright. There's inspiration, yeah, because you wish upon a star. Wheel of Fortune is upright. You're having good luck. Obviously, there is, because when you have good luck, you have to have it. That's how it goes in that way, right? So I'm going to clarify this Magician. High Priestess Uranus is no inner voice. Hierophant is upright. There's guidance. Magician upright. You want skill. Haman is restrictions. You're being restricted. So whenever you're being restricted, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, that's how it goes. You think to yourself, you think that, this is how it goes. Yes, but how would that be possible to make it possible? You have to put things into perspective. You have to put things into writing. You have to do what you can. But how would you do it? How would you maintain your own society? Right? That's how it goes, right? You have to pay attention to it. That's how it goes in that way. What's this Wheel of Fortune? Taurus, there's transformation. Hermit, Uranus, you have a soulmate. Taurus, Uranus is no healing. Whereas there's completion, yeah, because everything's completed, right? So when things to be in that way, that's how it goes. So you have to see it in that way and think, okay, well, I need to do it, yes. Because in order for that to happen, that's how it goes. So let me clarify this Hangman on the left side here. So let's see. Three ones, sorry, there's communication. You want to communicate. That's how it goes. You have to have communication. So whether we deal with another Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, that's how it goes. Because when you have communication, you have to communicate. That's how it goes. What's the Virgo card about? 9-1, sorry, there's immaturity. Yeah. So when you have immaturity, that's how it goes. You're not trying to be immature. You're mature enough. You're being immature, right? That's how it goes, because you're not maturing enough. You're not whatever it is, right? So whether things to be in that good in that way, that's how it goes. It's like, how would you do it? How would you see it as that way, right? So let me see what the universe is saying. So let me clarify this 3 ones here. 3 swords are there's heartbreak, pain, separation, grave sorrow, and trauma. That's how it goes. Followed by the 4 swords is taking a break, relaxation, peace, reflection, and resting. That's how it goes in that way, yeah. One more. Five of Swords is aggression, disputes, bullying, and stress, conflict, and arguments. That's how it goes in that way. So you feel like that. You feel like, oh, well, I don't like this. Because you're trying to be acting like you're being a nice person, right? And Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you need to pay attention whether you're acting nice, you gotta be nice. You have to do that. Because if you're having aggression or you're having disputes, bullying and stress, conflict, and arguments, it's basically a pain in the butt, actually, right? So you understand that. You have to understand, because if you have restrictions, you've been restricted. That's how it goes, right? So when you feel like that, that's how it goes. It's like, well, this is gonna be like a never-ending story. That's how it goes. And when you do it, that's how it seems to be. What's the night ones? 6 Swords, there's movement. Yeah, so leaving behind, moving forward, distance ahead. Strength card, you want bravery. So you want courage, confidence, and power. Taurus, right? You want progress. So it means determination, success, moving forward. Taurus is right, is so it does mean making decisions, but it means twin flames. So balance, spiritual love. So you might be doing with another, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius in that way. Here is right. So there's guidance. So there's tradition, higher learning, beliefs. That's how it goes. And the Hangman is right. There's restrictions. So you're being sacrificed, waiting, perspective, lack of direction. That's how it goes. So you might have the abilities of having restrictions, right? Because you're being restricted on the left side, being restricted in the middle, being restricted on the right. That's how it goes. So let's clarify this Hangman here. Justice, already you're telling the truth. So consequences, karma, law, integrity. Followed by the Wheel of Fortune is fate, positive changes, cycles, and changes. That's how it goes. So you're going to have good luck. Hermit is alright, so there's solitude, but you already have a soulmate. It says self-reflection, introspection, solitude. That's how it goes. 4 Wands is already their celebration, but it says home, reunion, stability, belonging, celebrations. 3 Wands is already there's communication, but it says looking ahead, confidence, growth, foresight. Exactly, because you want to communicate, right? So that's how it goes. One more. 2 Wands is already there's planning. Is planning, waiting, making a decision, choosing a path. That's how it goes, yeah. And Ace Wands is creativity and passion, new, intuitive, inspiration. That's how it goes. So you're probably having your own new beginnings as well. So you might be doing a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. That's how it goes in that way. So you feel what's going on that way, because being restricted, that's how it goes. It's like that's how the way how this is. It's like, oh well, this is gonna be how it goes. Yes. So let's see what the universe is saying. We're gonna go from the middle to the right, middle to left. Page Pentacles, sorry, there's prospects. Sorry, you're making decisions. 9 Cups, sorry, there's fulfillment. 8 Pentacles, sorry, there's no perfection. 5 Swords, sorry, there's revenge and conflict. Emperor is upright, there's structure. 10 Swords, there's no conclusions. 5 Cups, is upright, there's grace. So there's basically conflict and grief at the same time. That's how it goes. So it's like interesting, and you're making decisions at the same time. So you might be doing something like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in that way. What's between the middle and the left side? High Priestess verse is no inner voice. 9 Pentacles, there's trust. Page Swords verse, there's no education. Ace of Swords verse is there's a misunderstanding. Wheel of Fortune is upright, there's good luck. 6 Wands verse, there's no achievement. Page 1 Wands reverse, there's no invention. Judgment reverse, there's no action. Ten Pentacles reverse, you already have a career. Strength card is alright, there's bravery. So on their side, on you, as in Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you have a misunderstanding. I have no idea why, but it's like you need to understand something rather than nothing, right? So you have to pay attention to how you're feeling in that way. So let me clarify this. Ace of Swords reverse as a misunderstanding. So let me clarify. Five Pentacles is over, there's insecurity. Six Pentacles reverse, there's no kindness. Yeah, so you're being mean and rude. Ten reverse, there's no healing. Nine Wands reverse, there's no immaturity. Three Wands reverse, there's actually no communication. So basically, you're cutting out the communication whatsoever. Interesting. Nine of Swords are there's trauma. Okay, that's interesting. So no wonder why you're not communicating, because that's how it goes. Interesting. What's in the middle of this situation? Six Cups is over, there's the past. It's like, why are you drawn to the past? Why you can't leave things alone? Why? Because you have to have other things to do or something? Like, that's how it goes, right? So whether you have to pay attention in that way. So you might be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might deal with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. That's how it goes in that way. So you have to understand on how you're going to do it in that way, right? This is how it goes. So you have to remember that in that way you have your own time of the essence, because you have to have your own understanding to pay attention what you want, what you get, what you provide, because that's how it goes. It's like, alright, this is the same thing, alright, I'm going to maintain it, yes, but you have to maintain on how you're feeling. You have to know about how it goes. You have to have your own routes, you have your own routes, whatever it is, and you have to pay attention on how you're feeling, right? So if you use the word disciplined, you pay attention to it, but the universe is saying you're looking at the past, and when you look at the past, it's like, well, that's how it goes. So it's like, why you keep going on the past? That's how it is, but that's how it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. Try to pay attention to it, try to understand it, but that's how it goes in that way. So I hope you all like it. Please give a like, please leave a comment if you want, and I'll see you next time when I do. Thank you, and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye for now, Ray. Thank you, and bye.